So, welcome students. Welcome to all of you in a 7th standard online classes. As per my subject, I am going to teach you history and geography. So today, first of all, we shall study about history. In our history, the first lesson, that is the sources of history. So while learning the first lesson of history, sources of history, in that, before to start, what is that? In last year we have studied about the ancient Indian history, but this year we are going to learn about the medieval Indian history. So when we are learning that the period of Indian history or the medieval history is a little bit different. The 9th century CE from 18th from the 9th century CE to up to the 18th century CE. This period is considered as a medieval period of Indian history. So this is a big period from the 9th to the 18th centuries, nearby 10 centuries durations or 1000 years period is considered as a medieval period of Indian history there. So this we are going to learn in this lessons. Now in this lesson we are going to study the sources of medieval history. Then in this first lesson of our history we are going to study about the sources of Indian history there, or the medieval history. History gives us a chronological, scientific and systematic account of past event. When we are learning history, it gives us information about the systematic, chronological and scientific account of the past event. Provide that four factors are very important from the viewpoint of a history. When we are learning it, at the time, four factors, four categories, four parts are very important, or the four pillars are very major there. With the viewpoint of history, they are individual, society, place and time. Individual, society, place and time. Individual means a single person, that for example I am myself alone, that individual. Society, where I live, in which region or the areas, that is area, region, that peoples, that is society. Place means in which region specifically I am living, that is place. And the time, in which time I am living there. What is the time then? So individual, society, place and time, these four factors are very important, or these 4 points are very important while learning medieval history. That history must be based on the authentic evidence or proof. History, it should be based on the proper evidence or the proof. There means once we are saying that it should be correct, that simply we should not tell, or we should not say the false or the lie information. We should not provide or give that. So whatever the information we are giving, it should be proper, it should be correct, it should be authentic, it should be checked, examined properly, it should be scrutinized properly. They should give proper or the correct information. Then they should not give the false or the wrong information. So the proof are known as the sources of history. Whatever the information we get through the authentic persons or through the evidence, it should be. So all the proofs are known as the sources of history there. Let us classify these sources into the material sources, written sources and the oral sources. Three sources are there: material, written and the oral. Means oral, that whatever the things are there, historical document means monuments are there, places are there, sites are there, forts are there, they are the material sources. Along with that, information is written in a written format, that is written sources, and which are the past sources which pass by orally, they are called as oral sources. So three sources are very important: written sources, material sources and the oral sources. So let us also evaluate the sources of history. These are the three sources of history which we are learning. So it's a introduction, or it is the basic part, first part that. So when we go to leave, means to close today's video, then again one point I want to tell, that we have to consider many factors related to the historical event that we want to study. Number of factors are there that we have to study. It necessary to support our study with historical sources. Whatever we are learning, it should be supported with historical sources. Then these sources have to be verified properly. We have to see whether they are authentic, whether they are correct or not. It is necessary to use these sources judicially and only after critical analysis, judicially, properly, correctly, and we have to use after the critical analysis, that it should be checked, it should be examined properly. So forts have an important place among the material sources. That forts are also important in the material sources. Forts are included into the material sources. Some major types of forts are there: hill forts, uh, forest forts, sea forts, and the forts on the plain region or the area. Hill, forest, plain, and the hilly region area. That mountain include some of these. So what is that? Monuments are there, historical monuments, persons. Graveyard means samadhis are there, graves, virgala, and building include places, ministerial mansions, queen's quarters, ranivasa or the rani mahal, we can say that, and also houses of the common people. They all are important. They provide us insights about the period, give information about a specific period. Looking at them, we came to know about the development of architecture. When you see, then we can understand the development and architecture about that place, about the region, areas, or at that times. That the economic conditions, and also we can understand the quality of art, style of building constructions, and people's standard of living in the particular period. That when we see all these things, fort, places, ranis, mahal, that is samadhis, virgalas, then we can understand their style, their techniques, their method, construction style, living style, their period we can understand. So for today it is sufficient. Tomorrow we'll see the next part. That